action.
Glenn and John, our showrunners and writers, in our first meetings, they wanted the whole feel of a 70s movie. And our references were all great 70s movies, Clute, All the President's Men, Parallax View. And it's funny because those are my references for, I think, everything I do. So for once, they were direct references, like this was the world that we're trying to create. There was not a lot of time to theorize about this look, and we always create what we call a visual manifesto. As they were prepping, I was also prepping, and as they started shooting, I was still writing the manifesto based on what they were shooting and based on what we wanted to do. And then it kind of like, for the first time, maybe 10 days into that process, I saw that the manifesto that we were writing and what they were shooting were coming together. So that was the biggest challenge, and at the same time, the biggest satisfaction to see, I think that's, on screen now. Like what we aimed for is on screen. Everybody wants everything to be cinematic, but what is cinematic, right? Cinematic is a very broad term. We wanted to observe an individual within their environment and see the environment and the small individual within it. And Clute, as a reference, was very good for that, because in Clute, what they do a lot is there's what I call a lighting close-up, which is almost a theatrical thing where you have a wide shot, but only part of it is lit where the actor is. All the darkness leads to the little bit of light. And that has to do with how the individual fits the environment. What does the environment do to the individual? Therefore, what the society does, and what are the secrets, and why the paranoia, and all that. So we wanted to visually translate that.
Mr. Heston, welcome to 1550 Gerard. Ronald Colgan, so sorry to keep you waiting.
Not a problem.
There's a really large appetite for very unique environments on this show, and the big challenges were trying to conceive of them and deliver them in a timely schedule, but they were always worthwhile because we succeeded in doing some pretty cool things in a very limited time, including this set that we're in right now, this vault set.
The client has to sign into their system, enter their box number. Once they've been verified, they're given a specific route to the vault. That's because the entire place is covered in infrared motion sensors.
It's something that we knew about early in the production schedule, but it was something that was probably the most ambitious thing conceptually. It was supposed to be a state-of-the-art facility, and it really showcases a kind of cool caper for the team. And I had to work and interpret what the writers wanted, which was something kind of futuristic almost, like state-of-the-art technology that would take really smart street sense and ingenuity to outsmart.
Sorry, my bad.
That's okay. CP1, accidental trigger, reset.
This is Bank Vault for episode 6. It is a high-end security deposit that is utilized by people who maybe are not working within the confines of the law. We are going to make an effort to break into this vault to steal some things from a safety deposit box that will help us get a senator to do some work for us. So it's an extraordinary looking set.
It was definitely a big push of labor of carpenters and my wiremen. Like they did all this lighting in here. The LED in here was a huge amount of work, and they did it in record time. Absolutely Star Trek in its vision here. It's beautiful.
Miss Walcott?
Okay, let's see the vault. Come on. I don't have all day.
What's interesting about this show and the world that we're in is that the vault represented kind of data and the power of technology at its most extroverted. We also have environments that feel safe and secure, that are the opposite scale of the textures of things. So they're old buildings, they're old interiors that maybe have been abandoned. And it's somewhere where our heroes go to feel safe and hide because they want to be in worlds that are not overtly about the technology. We play with the textures to kind of remind the audience that The old world that's kind of broken and disappearing is maybe safe only for the moment, but it's giving way to what the new world represents.
You got to connect the digital antenna. It's right there.
How many of these do you have?
Antenna's just the one.
No, I mean, creepy secret hideouts.
I don't know, a lot. I keep surfing these government auction sites. Can't help myself.
Material and color in this show has been really like an exciting avenue for expressing like the various conditions in the world. And so a lot of our environments have been kind of weathered and broken down and like really old and aged. It represents a certain kind of color moment, a sort of browns and grays. You know, the modern world is very glass and steel and very clean, almost colorless. So every so often, we want to go to a place where kind of reminds you of what life was.
Ben, are you teaching him to smoke? We talked about this.
It's only candy. I did a pack a day when I was a day.
Set decoration, we sometimes hit upon themes that may not have been written in, but sometimes we tend to carry out. It just becomes the zhuzh of it. You know, we go, okay, we pick up on it. So for the Wilson house, you might notice that there's a bird theme in there, that there's fabrics in there that have birds in them, that there's a sofa that has little birds in them, and there's paintings here and there that have birds in them. It's not something that was scripted. It just happens to be the way we've decorated it because it was happenstance. These are a lot of found objects, a lot of found fabrics, and it just became a theme for us. Going down the rabbit hole, it's you get obsessed by something, and away you go.
I'm Antonio Germanario, prop master on Rabbit Hole, and these are the props for 108. In props, you have to communicate with all departments. For example, with wardrobe, if you have to put something in a pocket which is oversized, you have to talk to wardrobe, you have to show them the actual prop that's going in the pocket, let's say, and so they can take their measurements. If stunts is, if we have an actor doing A, how stunts gonna work their stunt and what do they need from props. Then props will then go out and get everything that stunts needs to make the actor safe, make sure it's safe for the actor. This here is, we have Crowley's guards, and so these are submachine guns that I presented to the executives, and then they choose which ones they want. Now they've gone with the UMP 45 for the 6 guards. So we'll have these are airsoft, and then we'll have a rubber there. You can either have it with your full stock, or you can fold the stock and it will have a strap there. And so when the guards go into Crowley's lair, they'll just have these in evidence. The guards will also be wearing vests. So this we haven't decided on. They want to keep them streamlined, all in black. So we'll see if they go for that type of look. They didn't want a big and bulky look, so we got something that's rather compact. Working with John and Gunn is great. They have great ideas. They're very unique ideas, fun to work with. Even last minute requests are bang on, and it helps add to the layers of the scene and the character. So I quite enjoy working with them.
So you're at the costume truck, which is at base camp, and I'm the one that helps the actors get ready in the morning so that they know what to wear, how to wear it. I'm kind of the in-between between the designer and the actors. So the designer gives me the costumes, and she also gives me a reference picture of how they are supposed to wear the costumes. The actors already had a fitting with the designer, so they know what they're wearing, and then I'm the person that puts all of those things together in their room. Their necklace, their earrings, the dress, whatever it might be for that day. And then if we're filming a couple scenes, I'm the one that sets in their next costume and so forth. So that's kind of I'm like the librarian of the costumes.
There's an overall palette for the show. I spoke to the DOP about that, and we talked about films that they looked at that were very modern, but sometimes had period reference to them. And there are very few pops of color in my costume design. They're very specifically chosen for certain scenes. We were lucky, we had scripts ahead of time too, so you could actually try to do a journey really quickly.
This is one of my favorite pieces from Haley's costume. She wears it a lot. She also performs a stunt in it, she as well as her stunt double, so we have many of these. It's just a beautiful coat, and it sits beautifully on her body.
I am actually a visual artist as well as a costume designer, and in this case, I thought I would just find out what the feeling of it was. So I did graphic boards. I use a particular program, which is not Photoshop. But I had cast as well, so I used real images. And then I worked different clothing and different ideas and textures and lighting. With Kiefer, he was already cast. So I was able to have a very simple conversation with him. And he had a couple of questions for me. I had a couple for him. And it kind of married very quickly because what I said and what he said was in total agreement. His character, you have to be careful. You don't want to express too much. So it's a minimalist, really sleek. It's about fit. It's about contour, texture as well. So you have to not give too much information. At the same time, he has a certain physical status and a certain financial status that you want to know. So if you look closely, you know that those clothes are good and they're well chosen and they're very considered.
Got it.